What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Football season is right around the corner, and I couldn't be more excited for it. Literally starts in like 2 or 3 days. I want to break down the AFC conference in this video, give you my record predictions and the standing predictions. Just remember, this is a prediction. It's probably going to be wrong, but this is my best guess before the season starts, all right? Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. Well, let's start off with the 1 seed in the AFC that I have this year. I have the Buffalo Bills at a record of 13-4. They're getting Tre'Davious White back. They got Von Miller in free agency. They're getting Gabe Davis and going into, I think, his third or fourth year. They didn't really lose anybody of note. So the team overall is better. They drafted James Cook. Josh Allen's looking for an MVP season. And, you know, they lost in a brutal way last year, so I'm expecting them to come out with a vengeance this year. So 13-4 is where I got the 1 seed Bills. The 2 seed, I've got the Chargers. That's my team. I try to remove the bias from this, but when I look at the record and the schedule, I should say, I think they're going to be around 13-4. I love the defensive additions, getting J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack, Sebastian Joseph Day, Austin Johnson. Like, they really loaded up. They got Zion Johnson in the draft. You got, Mike Williams going into another year, Justin Herbert going into year 3. He's looking to make the playoffs for the first time. Drafted Isaiah Spiller. A lot of good things to look for this team. They don't really have any holes outside of linebacker. So the Chargers are the 2 seed for me. I got them at 13-4. The 3 seed in the AFC for me is the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to win the division. They're healthy again. Everybody's back. I got them going 12-5. I don't think that they're going to be nearly as banged up as they were last year. They're getting Marcus Peters, Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins. They're getting basically everybody back that they didn't have before. You got Rashad Bateman going into year 2, and you're not going to have your running backs be 35 years old and basically head into the retirement home this year. So I think the Ravens are going to be really, really good. They signed Marcus Williams, drafted Kyle Hamilton. Safeties are looking good. I love the Ravens this year, 12-5. At number 4, I got the Colts. This is another team I love this year. The pickup of Matt Ryan from Carson Wentz. The defense is going to be top tier. I love the defense. They got playmakers at every single level. They picked up Stephon Gilmore, drafted Alec Pierce. You got Jonathan Taylor going into year 3. Michael Pittman, I think, going into year 3 as well. The O-line is really, really steady. So they look really good on paper, and they play in a really, really soft division. So I got them at 12-5, just like I have the Ravens. But I do think the Ravens are just a hair notch higher than the Colts are. As the first wild card at the 5 seed, I've got the Bengals. They were in the Super Bowl last year. I got them going 11-6. I do think that they are going to be a good team. I don't think they have that Cinderella run again, but you never know. You're going to have Joe Burrow going into year 3, Jamar Chase year 2, T. Higgins year 3, I think. They improved the O-line a little bit. The only thing is they don't really know what's going on with Jesse Bates, so that's a big safety if they don't have him. I do like the Bengals, though. I got them 11-6. I think that they're going to be fighting with the Ravens for the division. I've just got them as the first wild card seed at seed 5. As my 6th seed, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs going 11-6. You got Patrick Mahomes. You're going to be in contention pretty much every single year. They improved their defense, in my opinion. I think it got better. They did lose Travarius Ward, but the corners are a little bit shaky. But they picked up Justin Reed to replace Tyrann Mathieu. Drafted George Karlaftis. I like Nick Bolton going into year 2. I think he was really, really good last year. You got Chris Jones already, so the defense is a little bit better. And then offensively, they're not going to be relying on the Tyreek Hill thing anymore. They have a little bit more depth at receiver this time. I like Juju this year. I think he's going to have a phenomenal season. Sky Moore has some potential as a rookie. Marquez Valdez-Scantling can make some plays. Mecole Hardman's had over 600 yards in most seasons that he's played. So, and then obviously you have the best tight end in the game, Travis Kelce. And there's a lot of rumors coming out about this running back Isaiah Pacheco that he might be pretty good. And then they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who I will not touch in fantasy. And then they have a really good O-line. So ultimately, I've got the Chiefs going at what I got them at 11-6. I think they're going to be right in there. I think the Chargers are a hair better this year in the division overall. This is on paper projection, so I do like the Chiefs enough where they make the playoff spot. I got them as a 6th seed, 11-6. Now at the 7th seed, the last team to make the playoffs, I've got the Broncos. I think adding Russell Wilson's a big deal for them. The defense is pretty good. They are lacking at linebacker, but Pat Surtain II at corner is going to be a beast for a long time. Justin Simmons is one of the most underrated best safeties in the game. You got Bradley Chubb and Randy Gregory pass rushing off the edges. That's really good. I do kind of question what they're going to do outside of Pat Surtain, and then their O-line is okay. It's not great, but it's good enough, I guess. And Javonte Williams, I think they need to give him the full RB1 workload, but I don't think they're going to do that. Melvin Gordon's pretty good. And then this is a big year. It's not a prove-it year for Russell Wilson, but it's just a big year to remind everybody how good he is. And I've got the Broncos going 10-7. I think this is the hardest division in football, the AFC West. That's why I've got 3 of these teams making the playoffs. I have the Raiders barely missing the playoffs, going 10-7. Somebody's going to have to do it. You can make the argument all 4 of the AFC West are going to make the playoffs. I got the Raiders 10-7. I just think, yes, they did add Devontae Adams, which is a great add, but they're not sold on Josh Jacobs. Their O-line is not good. They don't have a secondary. Yes, they have 2 good pass rushers in Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, but outside of that, their defense is really, really lacking. And I think you can't have issues in the trenches. Basically, on O-line, you cannot have a bad O-line and expect to be great. I know the Bengals got to the Super Bowl last year with one of the worst ones pretty much ever, but they didn't win. And the Bengals defense was better. So I have the Raiders just barely missing the playoffs. I will not be surprised if they do make it because they do have a ton of offensive firepower. But 10-7, just barely missing. Then as the 9th seed, I've got the Dolphins going 9-8. Yes, they did add a lot, and you got the Teron Armstead, but he is a little slightly injury prone. You got Tyreek Hill, who is a fantastic receiver. But ultimately, this just comes down to how good is Tua Tagovailoa. And I'm not a big Tua guy. I'm just not. I don't think any of their running backs are all that great. And they really only got 1 good O-lineman in free agency and in the draft. So I just don't. I'm not a huge believer in them. Thought they overpaid Mike Gesicki a little bit. The defense should be pretty good, but I don't like enough on offense just overall. So I have them missing the playoffs, going 9-8. They could make a surprise run, but their schedule gets really brutal in the second half, and that's where I think everything's going to kind of fall apart. So, and also we've never seen Tua even stay healthy for a season, so I think that's a big deal too. He needs to stay healthy, and he needs to show why he got drafted as high as he did. So it's really all on Tua. So if he balls out, then this could be a lot different. But I got him at 9-8. 10 seed, I had the Cleveland Browns 7-10. Biggest reason here, they're not going to have their starting quarterback for the first 12 games of the season or whatever it is, or 11 games, whatever. I think when you're missing your starter, Jacoby Brissett is not going to be, some godly quarterback or anything like that. I think with that, I got them going 7-10, so I think that they're gonna win some games, but they have a gauntlet without Deshaun Watson that they have to run through because that division is really tough, and I just don't like them enough to be able to recover from that. I think it's gonna be too hard. It'll be too little, too late. At 11, I've got the Steelers going 6-11. I just don't know about quarterback, and I don't know about offensive line. Those are probably the two of the biggest issues you do not want to have as a franchise. Yes, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season, but it's too hard for me to trust Mitchell Trubisky. It's too hard for me to trust Kenny Pickett, and then their O-line is not good. They didn't really improve it that much. So, Najee Harris is great. They drafted George Pickens. Deontay Johnson's cool, and then Chase Claypool can play. Freiermuth can play a little bit. So they have some weapons to where it might be able to work. So I won't be surprised if they, manage to win a few more games than I've got them going. I have them 6-11. So when you have question marks at O-line and QB, it's hard to sell, in my opinion. At 12, I've got the Patriots. I think they're going to be in for a down year. I got them going 6-11, just like the Steelers. I think losing J.C. Jackson, Kyle Van Noy, that was pretty big. When you lose your lockdown corner, that's a huge deal. This is Bill Belichick's team, so maybe they take off and they make me look stupid in this like they did last year. And then Mac Jones, a big reason why they're able to win a lot of games because the defense is able to keep them in it. And if your defense got worse, I don't know. Devontae Parker as a pickup's cool, but he misses half the season all the time anyway. I don't really trust any of their running backs. Their O-line is solid, but they just look on paper, they just look average to me. And I don't mean that to offend Patriots fans. Last year I liked them a lot more, and I'm not a big fan this year. I got them going 6-11. I got the Titans, another team that I think is going to be really bad. I'm not banking on it because I don't really want to see teams fail, but I don't see the Titans having any success this year. I got them going 6-11, just like the Patriots. But I think when you're not even sold on your starting quarterback and your starting corners have barely ever even played, that's a huge issue if you can't stop anybody. They just lost Harold Landry, who was their best pass rusher last season. Yes, Jeffrey Simmons on the interior is amazing, and you got Derrick Henry coming off of a major injury going into his age 28 or 29 season with the amount of carries he's had in his career. It doesn't bode well. They lost A.J. Brown. There's not a lot to be positive about with the Titans right now. The O-line is solid, but it's not great. So I think they have too many holes, and when you don't even believe in your quarterback, that's a huge red flag for me. 6-11. Got them as the 13th team in the AFC. The 14th team, I got them going in the same division. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I got them going 5-12. I do think they improved as a team overall. Getting ETN back, they revamped the defense a little bit, but ultimately it's really unproven right now. We don't know what ETN is going to be like. We don't know how James Robinson is going to recover from that torn Achilles. We don't know what the O-line is really going to be like. You're banking on Trevor Lawrence having a bounce back year, and then the defense is okay on paper, but they don't have enough like weaponry, in my opinion. There's too many question marks, so I can't like be confident in them to do better than 5-12. Originally, I was like maybe they could get to 6, but I mean I hope they play well. I think getting Doug Peterson as a coach might be a big difference. I'm not sure how big of a difference, but I think going from Urban Meyer, which was a complete catastrophe, to Doug Peterson is a good move. So maybe they're better, maybe they're worse. I got them right around 5-12. I do think they have a better season than they did last year. To 15, the second to worst team in the AFC, I've got the Houston Texans. Just to put it simply, they have way too many holes. O-line is not that great. D-line's not that great. Secondary's not that great. Linebacker's not that great. Like it looks rough on paper. I got them going 4-13. I don't know how good Davis Mills is going to be. It's kind of a similar thing with like the Titans and the Jags, where it's like there's just too many question marks for me to put any sort of real confidence into them. So I've got them going 4-13. Maybe they're better, maybe they're worse. Really kind of depends how well Davis Mills plays. And then, maybe Dameon Pierce blows up and that helps them a lot. I don't know. We'll find out. And worst team in the AFC, I'm sorry, Jets fans. I got you guys going like 4-13, somewhere in there. They did improve the receiving core, which is nice, but your Zach Wilson didn't show a lot last season. They did draft Breece Hall. I am excited to see that. So they did improve the weapons around him. The defense is still not all that great. The O-line's not that good. They lost Mekhi Becton already. So, like, they have some decent players, but for right now, they're too young and they're unproven, and that's a huge question mark to me. And Zach Wilson got hurt in preseason, so he missed a lot of time too. So they're already off to a little bit of a rough start. So I have the Jets being the worst team in the AFC, 4-13. Let me know what you guys think of my standings, my rankings. I'm probably going to be wrong on some of these. I might be right on some of them, but I like my top 7. Being the Bills, Chargers, Ravens, Colts, Bengals, Chiefs, Broncos. I think that's a pretty solid 7. I think you can definitely make the argument for the Raiders, and then maybe the Dolphins after that. But those are the 7 teams that I really believe in the most. And then, some of these teams just have too many red flags, too many question marks, and too many big holes to try and fill that I just don't like them that much. And, somebody's got to lose. So the fact that I don't even have a team with 2 or 3 wins on here, that means these records are probably not going to be spot on, right? But I think if I get the standings right, that'll be a huge dub, or at least close to it. I think I've got 7 playoff teams. But let me know who you got making the playoffs, what the records are going to be, who's your favorite team, what are you excited for this NFL season. I'm hyped. It's going to be great. Can't wait to let Sundays, my team, the Chargers and the Eagles, I can't wait to let them determine my mood for that day. So it's going to be great. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. I really, really appreciate it. But thank you for watching. I'm done here. Peace.